What's up, y'all? Happy Monday! Welcome back to an earlier edition of Chill to Action on the Call to Action Network with me, your girl, you know me. It's your girl, Danny Joy here, hanging out with my favorite co-host, Mr. Paul Denuzio.
It's PLD, and there will come a day where I'm not dancing to that music behind the banner, but it is not this day. It is not this day. I'm still dancing.
Not this day. Oh,
Love that, David. Thank you, David B, for your awesome contribution. So,
I'm super excited about tonight.
Yeah, me too. I will point out that it's already said in the chat. Yes, we are still late, even when we go early. But that's kind of our MO. It's a little bit of our charm, I like to think. And if you're not with it at this point, I don't know what to tell you. After 46 episodes, I don't think it's going to change. As much as Danny will try. She'll try.
I do try. I try, and maybe like 7 out of the 10 times that we're late, it actually is my fault.
And yet, who gets the blame?
That's right. Hashtag blame PLD. That's right. Y'all know the tag. Let's get it. Tonight, y'all, I'm super excited to have on not only one of the best Star Wars competitors that we've had inside of the Star Wars division in a long time, but also now brand new to the Reactor fam. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much, Miss Mollie Damon.
What's up, guys?
We are so glad to have you here, Mollie. Thank you for coming in and hanging out with us on a Monday.
Thank you for having me. I mean, what day is it? Any day, really. Who knows?
Like I say the last couple of times, the only reason I know it's Monday is because it's Chilled Action Day. That's the only reason I know. Otherwise, it's all in the wind at this point.
Yes.
We would be lost in the week if it wasn't for this show. So thank goodness that.
It's a little things to keep you sane, right?
Yes. Woo! Alrighty, Mollie. Well, we always like to ask the same question first, and that's why Schmodown? What got you into the Schmodown? How did you get involved, and what kept you in it? Yeah.
I know that we started watching the Schmodown before we met Christian and Ken. So that was back. So we met them in 2017 at Celebration Orlando. But we had watched way before then because I remember their video with Sam Witwer and Freddie Prinze Jr. competing with Star Wars trivia. And I remember when that video came out and I was like, wait, what? Darth Mollie is doing trivia?
Force Bros.
Yeah, Force Bros. Yes. And like, we're just big trivia fans in general. We're just big nerds when it comes to TV and movies and stuff. Obviously, Star Wars is our main wheelhouse, but we know lots of other stuff too. But yeah, and then at Celebration 2017 in Orlando, we got to meet Christian and Ken Knapsack, and Ken was so nice. We were so busy at that celebration, but he managed to get us into the panel to watch the match that was happening at Celebration, and seeing a live match for the first time, we were like, oh man, this is amazing. I was so psyched. And then like, I don't know when it was after that, but Christian reached out to Alex and asked if you wanted to play, and he was like, yeah, I mean, I'll destroy. You know that, right?
Like the confidence. He did. He did. It's not cockiness if you're going to back it up like that. So
right. And yeah, so we got to do that 5-way with Sam. We got to meet Sam. That was so cool. And yeah, it's all history from there. And then so many people in the Schmodown, including Christian and Roka and Alex, and like so many people were like, you should play. You know trivia too. And I was like, not as much as Alex. Like, I'll help him study. That's it. And then eventually after enough studying, I was like, well, okay, I know all this stuff too.
There you go. You might as well use it. If you're going to help him study, you might as well use it, right?
Exactly. So yeah, and then I was like, okay, I'll compete, and I did the Chicago panel, and I have it doesn't seem like it, but I have a very, very competitive nature. So like a quiet rage, just constantly. Like, yeah, I'm pretty competitive, but it doesn't show, which I guess is a good thing.
Yeah,
but
that rage is definitely the one that you have to look out for in the end. So.
Yeah. So yeah, after I did that and then got drafted, I was like, okay, yes, I'm in this. Let's do it. The tournament, yes, I am all in.
Nice. That was a great big tournament. That was an awesome tournament. Like, so for the longest time, obviously, it had been like, well, the Star Wars had been the, I don't know, say secondary division, but not as many people had played, and Alex obviously hadn't got as many matches, and all of a sudden, because of this is like the one good thing that came out of Corona so far, is that we actually had the chance to put together a tournament with all these Star Wars players who kicked ass, and we had probably the best tournament we've had in forever.
Yes.
How did you feel about going into the tournament? Were you ready for it? Did you want to face Alex so bad, or how was that for you?
Oh man, I was so excited to do it, and like once I found out who else was playing in it, I was like, yes, this is great. This is great. Because yeah, like you said, there hadn't been that many Star Wars matches leading up to this, and you know, my first match was with Adam Witt, and I hadn't met him in person, but I loved his energy, and we worked together to make that promo, and it was hot fire. Just saying, promo of the year.
Yeah.
I will interject and say real quick, on Schmobates we had recently, I was on my Schmobates, which is our trivia show on the show, or not trivia show, our debate show on this channel. And one of the questions we had was to argue for best promo of the Star Wars universe. And we wanted to use yours, but Alex wouldn't let us because there was two people involved instead of having one competitor. But we both said that if we had a choice, we were going to choose to argue that yours guys were the best promo of the year by far.
Yeah, that legitimately was my favorite promo of the year.
So entertaining. So entertaining on all sides.
So much. It was so good. I loved it.
And I have to give most of the credit to Adam for putting that together. That was mostly his idea. All the stuff with Alex was kind of more on my side. I was like, okay, I have Alex here. I might as well involve him somehow. And I wanted to make him like a grumpy Luke character. So yeah, that all worked out perfectly.
Really good. So I like I've said it many times on the show before. Paul is our Star Wars resident here. He's the one who can tell you everything. That's our Jedi Master. I am just a young Padawan inside of the game. So I didn't catch that reference. I honestly did not catch that reference until I went back and I was watching the damn movie. And then I was like, oh my God, that's the promo. So it just like solidified it just like that much more for me. I was like, this is amazing. I loved it.
Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So now the tournament's done and everything's over. Are you looking forward to continuing? Because it almost feels like I don't know if all the players in the Star Wars tournament are they in all the way in Star Wars now, or if this is kind of a one and done thing. Are you looking to keep going next year and get redrafted and maybe hunt down Alex?
Absolutely. I think most of the people involved in the tournament would absolutely play again. It's like you do all of this studying, and you know, like. For our case, we're running the channel. We're talking about Star Wars all the time, anyways. Any chance that we get to talk about Star Wars trivia, we're of course going to take part. The only person I think might not do it anymore might be Ken. Now that he's a manager, I don't know. He seems like the old grumpy Ken that doesn't want to play in the Star Wars sandbox anymore. But I could be wrong.
I never know. He seems more ready to manage anyway. He's definitely got the mouthpiece. His was the other promo that was pretty awesome as well. He sends a note he's doing with that kind of thing. So I think he fits in very well as a manager as well. So
yeah,
but that's best for him at this point. Who knows? We'll have to see. But I think you'll never deny him. If he wants to compete, I think he'll get a a definite shot because we all love Ken here too. So.
Yes.
But we should talk about, last thing I'll do Schmodown wise, you did mention that you are good at trivia and other things. Have you ever thought about following Alex as well into Inner Geekdom or anything else besides Star Wars?
I've definitely thought about it, and, you know, helping and watching him study and watching the IG matches and the tournament, it's definitely been like, wow, I would have to really step up my studying game. But at the same time, I know when he decided to go into IG, he was like, "Oh, this is great. I get to watch movies that aren't Star Wars that I still like." And we were like, "Yes, like we don't have to watch the same movies over and over and over." Which we of course love, but it gets a little repetitive.
Well, there's only a handful of movies, really. You can only watch them so many times. I get it. So.
Yeah. And just like he says about winning the IG belt, it's only a matter of time. I kind of feel like the way I got into Star Wars Schmodown might be the same for IG. It's only a matter of time.
There you go.
We'll see.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. She's maybe going to throw her out in the IG ring, makes you more valuable players. We found the whole faction and standings thing. That whole thing has made it so much more difficult, or so much more needed to have multiple leagues. You have Star Wars and IG, become a much more valuable player, obviously, with all the point standings. So, what do you think about your faction?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask also.
I love my faction. I love Sam. When he reached out to me to join the Usual Suspects, first of all, I was smitten because I had met him before at a Schmodown event, but I'm also like a big Freaks and Geeks fan, and I love Sam and Rachel, of course. And so when he reached out to me, I couldn't say no.
That be a good opportunity to see, like in the background, to have Rachel Cushing, someone who is a dominant player inside of the entire league, not only just in like inner geekdom, but just the league in general. So having someone like that in your corner has to just be a little ace in the pocket.
Yes. Rachel is definitely one of the people that inspired me to start competing. Because, like, just as a woman, to see other women do well in the Schmodown, it makes you want to go after it even more.
Yeah, I think that was one of the most interesting things for me to see is you and Laura Kelly inside of the division, inside of the Star Wars division, and having both of you on opposite ends of the bracket, like having that possibility of a Mollie, Damon, Laura Kelly ending match.
Yes.
It's so much fun. But thanks a lot, Ace.
Right? Jeez. Took that away from us.
And it took away a chance at a Damon match too. So yeah.
It'll happen one day.
I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if it happens every day in the kitchen or something like that.
Yeah.
Questions at each other.
That's a question. Have you ever gone up against them behind the scenes?
I mean, mostly only when we are watching other matches. Okay. And like there may have been one or two times that I've known something that he hadn't known, but that was probably just because he was studying IG.
Don't say that. Own it.
But
you got him. You took it. You take that. You take ownership of that.
Got it. Yeah.
He just like he just has this crazy, insane brain that just remembers everything he watches. He remembers stuff from movies he hasn't even seen, and I'm like, why do you know that? He's like, I don't know. I don't know.
Born to be a Schmodown player, it seems.
He's still young. That goes away after a while, I'll tell you. As the older man in the group here.
So that is also one of the reasons why you all started the channel, or why Alex started the Star Wars Explained channel, was to prep for trivia, right?
Yeah. So we do Dragon Con here in Atlanta every year, which is Labor Day weekend. Sadly, not this year, but for the best. Hopefully next year we'll be back and strong. We are trying to get something together with the guys who run that trivia to do something virtually. So if that happens, I will blast it all over the internet because it is a real treat to see. That trivia is hard.
Nice.
Like it's all 5-pointers.
Nice. Show people up. That's what we like to say.
Yeah. So he we had gone a couple of times to try to do that trivia, and he had been okay at it, and he was like, you know what, maybe one year I'll decide to study for this. And then when he was doing that, he was like, oh, I like YouTube. I know how to make videos and use Premiere and After Effects, all that stuff. He worked in search engine optimization at the time. So we were like, let's just start a YouTube channel and talk about random trivia. And that was back in 2015. And now it's our full-time gig.
I mean, that was the time to start it, really, honestly, when Disney buys Star Wars, all of a sudden everything just came back full force at that point. No pun intended.
Yeah.
So since you've been doing it since 2015, what's the favorite interview segment you've got a chance to conduct?
That's a good question. Interview segment. I don't know. We've interviewed a few authors, which has been fun. We got to interview Timothy Zahn a few times because he comes to Dragon Con a lot. Awesome. We interviewed Henry Gilroy, and this was before anyone knew anything about season 7 or like Order 66 being a part of the Clone Wars. And when we interviewed Henry Gilroy, we brought up the idea of Rex and like all the clones that everybody knows and loves from the show. And we were like, they couldn't have been a part of Order 66, right? And he was like, we don't know. And like that was a few years ago, and like everyone we were like, what? Like, you wouldn't do that to us, would you? And he's like, I don't know. You'll see.
That old gang is nice at teasing without confirming anything completely.
I just finished the Clone Wars. Like, I started it this year and I finished it this year. So Paul and I are both a part of the Action Army Generals chat for Ben and Drew. Sign up for their Patreon so you can be a general also. And they're inside of that chat for a long time. There was like this big Star Wars discussion that like just went on for like weeks. And even Pavetta was like starting to watch the Star Wars movies and stuff like that. So we turned Jake into a Star Wars nerd. That was a lot of fun.
All about calling us nerds the whole time, but so don't doesn't fool anybody. Let's put it that way. But
I will say probably my best memory so far being like kind of part of the channel was from Celebration Chicago. We got invited to go up on the Star Wars show live stage to break down, like immediately after they released the Rise of Skywalker trailer, we got invited to go up there and break it down with them. And that was insane.
I can imagine that's going to be a favorite segment.
I was like, yep, there's Rey.
That was nuts. I remember watching that. That was nuts when that trailer came out. But speaking of Celebration, now you've been to a few. I've only gotten the chance to go to one. I was at the Orlando one. Do you have a favorite Celebration moment? A favorite like panel you've had, or besides that, your favorite Celebration moment, perhaps?
That might be my favorite Celebration moment, to be honest. That, and of course, of competing in the 5-way panel. That was really fun too. And I got to meet so many amazing fans. People that were like there to cheer me on, and I was like, what, why?
Do you still feel strange about that? Because you got a lot of people backing you now that you like the tournament, they were backing you hardcore. Does that feel
it does. But because I've been kind of just Alex's wife for so long, which is fine, but you know, now that I'm kind of doing this on my own, and I decided to do a separate faction from him on purpose, just for this reason, I'm really kind of feeling it for myself right now, and it's still crazy to see people that are fans of me and like want me to win and stuff. I'm like, oh, you just want me to win so I can eventually play Alex.
Very enticing. So watching a husband and wife square off in a Star Wars trivia match, that just sounds like a good old time to me.
Yeah. We joked about it early on when he was doing Schmodown, and then it was like a possibility, and it still is, you know? And so maybe.
Well, you mentioned the idea of you said you went to a different faction for definite reasons. You didn't want to be on the same faction. Roxy actually brought that up too, because Roxy did initially contact you about wanting to be on her faction, correct?
She did.
Okay. So was this a long discussion you guys had? Was it ever a possibility that you were going to with Roxy, or was it like right away, don't want to be anywhere near you? I tell you what, I live with you. I don't want to be anywhere near you in the faction. No,
I will say I I didn't drag her along for a bit, but I will say that I was trying to be nice about it for a while, but by the time she reached out, I could probably say that I had already made up my mind that I wanted to go for a different faction. And yeah, once Sam reached out, I was like, yeah, I'm down. And then of course I broke the news to Roxy, and she understands. So
yeah, she's always been very understanding.
I love Roxy.
Got a super chat here from Weston Ira. Thank you, Weston. The Damons versus Meredith needs to happen.
Ooh.
Good to see Danny surviving Hurricane Not Man. Yes. Brandana. And ONPLD. She's surviving me as well. Hashtag crossover. Thank you, Weston.
That would be so fun, because I know Alex did the exhibition championship match and he loved getting to play with Dan, and I love Mara. Her IG run still to this day, like, it blows my mind.
It's legendary. I mean, she had that first picture. I mean, she's beating people left and right. I can't wait for her to come back either. I hope that when she comes back healthy and strong, ready to go, I think she's going to be a great presence again. So I can't wait for that myself.
I would love for that to happen.
This is, I guess we could technically consider this a crossover episode, sort of in a way, now that Miss Mollie is hanging out with all of the people. And also coming up, real crossover right there, because apparently we can't have friends.
Love you, Shug. I love you, Shug, even though you call him out, he was down and dirty like that, you know.
Yeah, so now that you've been involved in a couple of episodes with a certain point of view, how are you enjoying this Reactor life? Girl, you came on the right time. Starting in next week, maybe it's 4 matches a week. Woo!
Yep. I just a few weeks ago, I was like, you know, I there's no new TV shows out that I'm really into. Like, what am I gonna do at night? I guess I'll read some more books. But now I got stuff to do.
Almost too much to do, some might say.
I mean, I feel like I already am kind of reacting to every match that comes out. What's really fun for me is going back and watching matches that I haven't seen and learning more about the players and their characters and like the team stuff. I haven't seen a ton of the team stuff, so I'm really enjoying going back and watching all that stuff just to prepare myself for these tournaments that are coming up, which is so exciting.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is definitely gonna be fun.
Yes.
But how did that happen, by the way? I mean, did you go to them? Did they come to you? Was it something you were thinking about doing anyway? How'd that all fall into place?
It was funny because like they did the Schmodown Ladies Appreciation Night, which was so much fun. And I feel like it was somewhere before, during, or after that when I was like, well, it was like once I got kicked out of the tournament, I was like, I'm not done with this. I want to keep talking about these Schmodowns, and I was like really, really into it. And so I started watching all the breakdown shows, and it must have been right after we did the ladies' night. I think I tweeted something like, maybe I have a YouTube channel. Maybe I'll just talk about this by myself. And then I was like, well, I don't want to do this by myself. I want to do this with some people that kind of already know how things work. So we started talking, and they had just gotten Jill on the show, and they said that they were already like thinking about bringing on someone else. And I was like, I'm free.
Perfect. Yeah. Well,
I'm not studying anymore. I'm free.
It's great having the two females and two male perspective as well. We always try to have that. It's good to have. I've found more of the community is starting to get more diverse, and that's a powerful thing, and it's a good thing to have. So,
absolutely,
love it as much. So,
yeah, I think there's always, like in the after show community, there's always been a female presence. It just hasn't been like a cluster of females all together. So,
Jake, I would say the same thing.
I did. I was like, hey, I could be on your guys' show, right?
Well, now that you said you'd gone back to the Showdown stuff and watching older matches and things, is there stuff that you remember that like stick out as like some of your favorite moments in the history that you've been learning?
I've recently I've been watching all of Roka's matches and Irwin's matches, and let's see, the Irwin Merle match, I guess that was live in New York. That one was fairly recent, I guess. So I don't know if that's considered a classic, but that one was crazy.
Yeah.
And like we've gone to the matches obviously that Alex is a part of, and then he was also a part of the Atlanta match, but we would have gone to that anyways because we live in Atlanta. But I was like, oh man, the live events are so good. They're so fun, and I want to go to all of them now, and we probably will.
Yeah, it definitely gets addicting. I think the C2APOB at least have one rep at all the live events, and usually more.
Yeah. Any chance we get to walk around with that Star Wars belt is a good time.
How heavy is it? Is it very heavy?
I'm gonna turn that slice into a belt somehow, so I can next time we go to a live event, we'll just all pass it around to each other with the.
It's pretty heavy. It's a little different than the other belts, and in a fantastic way. And I remember at Celebration when we would walk around the exhibition hall, we would just be like constantly talking to people, and just we had like bags of stuff that we were carrying. But I was like, Alex, I want to hold the belt for a while, and I was like walking around with it, just like pretending like one day it'll be back here on my shelf somewhere. We'll just move it from one office to the other.
And you're not going to touch it, though, right? You can't let him touch it. Once you have it, it's yours, and he can't hold it anymore, right?
Right.
Got to be that way. So.
I love that Christian was nice enough to let us take it home to Atlanta. I mean, part of it was like, we got to find someone to beat you first, so we might as well just take it.
That's a good point.
But we've kept it up on a pedestal, and we love it. And thank you, Christian, for letting us have it for now.
for now. Well, if you keep beating each other, you get to that point where you just trade it back and forth, they won't ever have to leave the household anyway, right?
Yeah. That's kind of our thing. People ask if because we're on different factions, we try to like mess with each other or keep each other from studying. That's husband and wife. You can't expect that to happen. We're obviously going to support each other, and we're kind of like in the wheelhouse of, as long as it stays in the family, stays in the house.
There you go.
It's a win-win.
I like that. So you've talked about there been talk about other divisions, like maybe a horror division that Andrew could put up there, maybe an MCU division thrown out there. Is there any division that you would like to see come to Tomorrow?
I would love a horror division, to be honest. Yeah, okay. I'm a big fan. I don't know that I would be good at competing in one, but because there's a ton of classic horror movies that I still haven't seen, but it's one of those things that I like. Halloween is my favorite time of year. Alex and I met at a Halloween party back in 2007, I want to say. Yeah, 2007. Halloween is huge for me, and I always try to do it big with costumes and special effects makeup and stuff. So I would love a horror division. MCU would be fun too. And after studying MCU for IG with Alex, I might compete in that.
Well, there's definitely exhibitions, if nothing else. I know they definitely have the MCU exhibition this year. I'm sure they'll have another one next year. They tend to do that every year at least. So
yeah. I hope they continue with these exhibition matches. I'm putting it out there that I want a John Hughes exhibition match.
John Hughes. Oh wow, that'd be awesome. I think I can see that happening. Oh, wow.
I would toss my hat into that ring, I think.
Do you have a favorite John Hughes movie?
16 Candles.
It's a classic. Can't go wrong either.
I love a Molly Ringwald. Molly, do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite look that you've ever done, cosplay or just a Halloween costume or anything like that?
I mean, I have my Dark Ray cosplay that I've done a few times that I will always cherish, especially because I did it before Dark Ray existed in canon, so I take full responsibility for that.
Totally.
You influenced it. I like that.
I remember when you posted that picture for the first time, and I was just blown away by it. I thought it was super cool.
Yeah, that one was fun, and I've done. I did Pennywise, I think 2 years ago, which was really fun, and I had the special effects spiky teeth and everything, and like no one wanted to be around me because I was in full character the entire time.
Nice.
Just being as creepy as I possibly could.
That's all. Do you have any cosplay ideas that you haven't done yet that you're looking forward to trying to tackle?
I've done a lot, but I'm trying to think. So you mean cosplay or Halloween costume?
Sure. I'd like to hear from both of you. Any ideas on either?
I know for cosplay, I've got a few in mind. I really want to do a Harley Quinn cosplay from like Birds of Prey.
Kelsey just got very excited in the background here, just so you know. She's
Yes.
a very big Harley Quinn fan. So.
I have my little Harley Funko Pop right here.
Very nice.
I love Harley Quinn.
That's awesome. Okay. Dude, you got.
I had a total and complete brain fart. I was going to say something, and then my brain.
I don't know. I stopped talking. So, like, Danny's about to say something. I said, I don't want to interject, but also, like, just nothing.
That's where Paul and I have always tried to, like, get used to each other, like, know like, who's going to ask the question next.
We do. It's kind of a thing we have. Like, it's like almost a look we have, and like hand signals we do. It's always like baseball sometimes. We're kind of like, this is mine. I got this.
This is for you and everyone at a certain point of view. You got to come up with, like, secret hand signals for the screen.
Third base coach.
I'll give a shout out to Jake. He does a really good job at like kind of directing who is going to talk next. I like I said, if I did my own breakdown show just by myself, it would be terrible. No one would want to watch it.
I do think it's actually easier to break down something with two people because you start talking to just the camera. You're kind of like the camera's not talking back, and then like it feels weird, right? In a way, it's just like.
It could be like a 10-minute thing, or it could be like a 2-hour thing, 3-hour thing where you just like talk and talk and talk. And it's like, and those are my thoughts.
If I can rant, then I'll be fine with it. But it is a lot easier to rant with someone.
That's true. And I do have the timer to prove it. So Danny rant timer I have to throw up there when she starts going off. It keeps her in check just enough. So
know when to shut up.
Well, I want to also mention, because you bring up horror, like, do you have any horror like films, books that you really dig? Some of your favorites?
I love the original Exorcist. I haven't actually seen any of the sequels, but I was recently told that Exorcist 3 is pretty good. That it was worth giving a watch. But I'm like super paranormal focused for horror movies. I love paranormal activity, and like The Conjuring is a really good one in my opinion. I love those.
Yeah, The Conjuring gave me nightmares. I don't like to watch horror movies because I do get nightmares, and The Conjuring kept me awake for a solid week. That movie was scary.
Well, I did. So last year, 2 years ago, I think I did the Nun for Halloween, like full makeup, contact lenses, again with those weird spiky teeth. And
I have a lot of use of those spiky teeth, aren't you?
Yeah, they're very versatile. Not comfortable, but versatile.
I bet.
And we went to this big outdoor Halloween party with like some friends, and like it was a lot of people we didn't really know. And again, I was just like in full creepy mode, just like hovering behind people, just like trying to scare them. I should be working at a haunted house, honestly.
It feels like you want to. I mean, you get to do that. You're just doing it on your own.
I would thrive. Yeah.
I love the haunted house. I miss the haunted house. I haven't been to one in a couple of years, but those are some of the most fun experiences I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because my wife is not a horror fan, so she gets really scared really quickly. So Kim is like that. Kim is not a horror movie fan at all. She's the
Alex doesn't like horror movies very much either. Like he likes some that are like kind of horror-esque, but I think he prefers to stay out of it. I do have a friend though that he also competes in the Dragon Con Star Wars trivia, and he's a big horror nerd. I would absolutely throw his name in to play for the horror division if that happened. But yeah.
All right. Well, I think it might be time for our segment. Well, one of our favorite segments here, the This or That segment. And if you have seen the show before, you know what it is. And if you haven't, well, I will be giving Molly choice option A or option B. And she will just decide between them. She can talk about them if she wants. She can just answer quickly and simply. She can go off on tangents. Really, it's up to her. Chat also uses sometimes throw some this or that's in there. And that's always welcome as well. If I like them, I'll use them. And we'll just go from there and see what happens. Before that, I will just throw up there. Well, Jake Berlin, thank you, Jake. Crossover deposit, love you all. Appreciate that, of course.
Hi, Jake.
That's one thing I will say about this community before we get into that. This community of reactors has been so phenomenal. Like last year, it was a lot lesser, obviously a lot fewer. There was a Cinephilax, Take 3, still a bunch of them, but it seems like there's this big explosion. Obviously with Corona, definitely didn't hurt that because we all had more time on our hands to do this. But it's always been such a great positive experience between the communities. Like there's no real like competition. Like it's not like we're better than you or we want to bury you or anything. It's more supportive. And I love that about this community. I think it's a great thing between all of us. So to everyone out there in the community world, we salute you. We love you. And we're still going to beat your ass, but I'm kidding. You know,
I completely agree. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to be a part of it too.
Yeah, it's a magical place. So, Shmodown community in general is great. So, all right, let's get into some this or that's. The first one we always start with. If you might not seen this, so I might have to explain it, but it might be self-explanatory. We'll find out. We are an Action Army podcast, obviously, and we started a long time ago. So the first one we have to ask is, Molly, Damon, are you on the side of Team Guy or Team Traitor?
There's only one right answer.
Oh, Team Traitor.
That's what we call Ben Damon. That's our little affectionate term.
Sure.
Yeah,
which is a very big Ben Bateman thing you just did. That's actually kind of funny. That's
Where's my sunglasses? Let me wait till the last minute before I answer.
Oh, I like that shade thrown in there. I like that.
Tired.
I mean, I love Ben. We've talked to him a lot in person. He, aside from the live event in Atlanta, he was here, I think, on work for something, and we went to dinner. And he's like such a passionate guy, especially in the Schmodown. But I can't go against my own team. Come on.
That was the right answer. We can continue this interview in good graces. So
Team Guy for sure.
I really feel like we haven't gotten a Team Guy answer in a while. Am I wrong on that?
We had a couple of Batemans in a row, which I was kind of starting to lose faith in our community. I'm hoping the Schmodown routine will get people back on board.
I love the Schmodown stuff. I'm fully on board.
Fully on board. So funny. Yeah, sorry, Kelsey. You're kicked off. You're fired from the show.
Oh.
All right. Let's throw it out there. Some more. How about this? Instead of Star Wars, Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter in the IG League, for example?
Ooh, Lord of the Rings. I love Harry Potter, and I have started to love it even more after watching the movies a bunch. But like we saw from Alex's exhibition match, he is also a huge Lord of the Rings nerd. And I was too when we met. And yeah, I think between the two, definitely Lord of the Rings.
I can go with that. There you go, Jake. Thank you. Subscribe to a certain point of view as well. Absolutely. I'll have to do that. All right.
Loaded fries or poutine? Ooh. I guess. Well, what's the difference? I mean, I know what poutine is. Was loaded fries just like
It's what.
nachos, but on fries?
Pretty much. That's pretty much what it is. Everything get put on fries. Poutine has the green side and a little more Canadian thing to it. And...
Yeah. I'll go loaded fries.
All right, that's a good answer as well.
I think Alex would probably go poutine because I know he loves gravy.
Well, you shouldn't tell him these things. I want to have Alex on too at some point, so you probably
okay.
As in the Cinefanatics always say poutine, so we had a little bit of a war with Cinefanatics, but we love him anyway. Even though he's wrong, we still love him.
I still need to have like true Canadian poutine. I feel like I've never had it up north. So
I will admit that is a good point because I don't think I have either. So I actually could be swayed if I went to the up north and went with poutine. So we'll find out if I ever get to go travel again.
Yeah.
You're a lot closer to it than we are, Paul. So
it's true. I mean, I've been up there a few times. I just haven't ever had poutine at the time. It's not exactly a family meal when I go with my family usually. It's like, but either way, let's see. Live events or these Zoom matches, like live matches or Zoom matches. Which ones do you prefer?
Oh, I'll always say live matches. Okay. Although, I mean, honestly, we have no choice right now. So I am very thankful that we got to start doing the Zoom stuff. And, it's been such a gift to the community and to Schmoedown in general to have these tournaments. It's insane. But the energy at a live event cannot be beat.
I know some people get a little nervous at the live events. I've had some people say that they prefer studio events because they concentrate more and things of that nature. But I think the energy should supersede that for me, at least. But
that used to be this or that question: live events or studio tapings.
Yeah, now it's live and a Zoom event because that's all I got left, unfortunately. But
it's funny. I have never done one in studio. Alex has. I've only just done the live at Celebration and now on Zoom.
Right. Hey, your cohort has one. I was going to throw it in there too, but I'll let him have it. Baby Yoda or Baby Groot?
Oh, you know this answer. He's sitting right up there.
Gotta be Baby Yoda. Okay, how about this? Next baby Star Wars character. Like a baby, let's see. I'm coming off the top of my head. Baby Chewy or baby... That's a good one I can say. Baby... Or you know what? Baby Chewy or Babu Freak?
Oh. Okay, well, purely going off of Lumpy from the holiday special, I'm gonna go Babu Freak.
Probably a good call. I'm hoping that Baby Chewy would be a little bit better than Lumpy was nowadays. But
yeah, I have faith that. Well, we do see the little baby. No, that's an Ewok. Never mind. I'm trying to think if we ever see any like baby Wookiees, but no, Babu Frick.
Wookiees, I think in the Clone Wars episode the one day, but there wasn't baby Wookiees at that point. I don't think. Yeah. Unfortunately.
I loved Babu Frick.
I did love Babu Frick. He was probably my favorite part of Rise of Skywalker, to be honest with you. And the moment at the other favorite part of Rise of Skywalker is the moment and when all of a sudden. There's a cameo in the Millennium Falcon, and like half the middle-aged men are going, "Yes!" and everybody's like, "Who the hell is that guy?"
Yes,
yes, it's Wedge.
Yes.
Let's see. There it is. How about this? Original trilogy, prequel trilogy, sequel trilogy.
Ooh, before the Rise of Skywalker came out, I would have said sequel trilogy. So I'll go original trilogy. But I love episode 7 and 8 so much. I love Rey and Finn and Poe and all those characters so much.
All right. Yeah, I can't argue with that. Everybody, I love all three trilogies, to be honest with you. Still have love for the originals, still have love for the prequels. I did a Star Wars message board during the prequels days. Just people probably don't even remember what those are. So I am, but I have love for all three. And so I just love the positivity from some corners of the Star Wars universe. It's just good to be positive about it. And why be so toxic about it? If you don't like something, you don't like it. It's okay not to like it. But just
right.
Let go.
I was like the perfect age when episode 1 came out to just go nuts over it. I loved it. And then, I was in high school by the time Revenge of the Sith came out. I still liked it, but I was like, oh, I'm a senior in high school. I have more important things to worry about.
All right. How about who would you rather see come into the current canon from the expanded universe? I'll throw out there either Talon Card or Mara Jade.
Ooh. Okay, so I've talked about this before. Definitely Mara Jade, but she'd have to be an almost completely different character. Like nothing to do with Luke, nothing to do with the Emperor.
Yeah.
Which kind of bums me out, but still, I love Mara Jade, and I've cosplayed as her as well. So yeah, I gotta go with her.
I get that. It's true, because that's the one thing. Like when they threw the EU out, the sequel trilogy definitely cherry picked and mined some certain aspects that would make it. Like Jason Solo couldn't exist, obviously, because he's basically Kylo, kind of in degree, and Mara Jade is taken by Rey a little bit here and there. It just makes it different. I just love Talon Card, and I'm hoping I can find a way to put him back. And my email handle was like Socks Talon for the longest time, because I don't know why I love Talon so much.
Oh, that's awesome.
I want to see him in there because he's a great character. You have the character that's like this. He's a true like neutral guy for the most part. I mean, neutral guy. He gets to play both sides a little bit, but he's got the heart of gold and everything else. So I liked his little side quests there. So
yeah.
I go Talon Card. All right. How about pineapple on pizza? Yay or nay?
Ooh, I don't know how much flack I'll get for this, but I like it.
Well, it's nice having you on the show.
I've never had pineapple on pizza. I still haven't, and even with this or that, but I've never tried it before, so I can't give an actual opinion.
I love the image that was recently circulating the internet of a giant slice of pineapple with tiny pieces of pizza on it, and it's like, where is your God now?
I just saw that today. That was pretty fun. That's when you actually add that question back. That's someone who's kind of a recurring when I kind of take it off and put it on. Seeing that image definitely made me bring it back. And you're not alone. Jake is definitely there. Kelsey is definitely there.
It's definitely not my first choice of like pizza topping in general. Like I always order just like whatever the supreme is with like all the meats and vegetables. But if you put a piece of pizza in front of me that has pineapple on it, I'm gonna eat it.
Right. True. There you go. I would eat it. I would never order it, but if it's there, I'd eat it. But yes, Troy. There was a Wookiee youngling in the phone.
Yes.
Not quite a baby though. But
yeah.
You work right. That does lead towards what I was looking for. Robert Adams, baby Jack Porkins, or baby Dexter Jess.
Oh, I bet both are adorable. But I want to see Dex's teeny tiny 4 little arms.
Yes.
I'm just like the very first moment he decides he can cook something with his little.
That's what we need. We need like a Disney Plus series on like the evolution of Dex's Diner.
Yes. Oh, man.
I cannot wait for my Star Wars knowledge to get these references.
Dex's episode 2, the diner where Obi-Wan goes into the forearms. That's
okay.
Perkins is he's kind of the larger build pilot in episode 4 who dies. He's in one of the.
But I know who the first guy you're talking about is. That I do remember. That diner scene felt out of place a little bit, I guess just for me, because like a diner, okay, that's cool.
Well, okay,
actually, in a way.
I want to know Dex's history and background and why he knows so much about Camino, and he's like, oh, them cloners, you gotta get in good with them, you gotta be polite, and how deep is your pocketbook and all that stuff.
I 100% agree. Literally, honestly speaking, I mean, I was joking about the Dexter show, Dex learning the diner, but I gotta think that he has a great character. He has like so many different possibilities for stories. Like he's got to like he knows the Jedi, he knows Obi-Wan somehow, so he's got to have some kind of connection with the Jedi somehow. Then he's got the connections with all the cloners, and he's got some underworld connections, shall we say, or whatever. So I mean, there's a lot of potential for that to have actually a lot, like to be a good centerpiece for a show. People coming in and out.
Sound good. It does.
Yeah. Yeah, he straight up asks, or he confronts Obi-Wan, and he's like, "I figured you Jedi would know the difference between knowledge and wisdom," and
Right.
just calls him out.
Right. Oh, but I would love that though. But that probably won't ever happen. But maybe an animated show, maybe someday or something. Maybe a book. I'll take a book even. Let's just have something.
I'll take the book. Yeah, please.
Absolutely.
Comic book, whatever.
Yeah, a little mini series for Marvel to do. Get away, because we do need to get away from some things. Let's get some little side characters like that. That'd be kind of fun. I got one of them in chat. Danny Cost, Avatar: The Last Airbender or Book of Korra.
Ooh, we talked about this earlier.
Yeah, we did. So I haven't actually watched Book of Korra yet, and I'm currently going through watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. So I'll go Avatar for now.
I personally would pick Avatar over or over Legend of Korra. I really did enjoy Legend of Korra very much. It was just slower in the beginning, but I very much enjoyed it, Molly. I think you'll like it also.
I'm excited to see both of them.
Yeah.
I too am just starting my first journey through Avatar. I know everybody yells at me to do it too. I'm only like 5 or 6 episodes in, I think. Kim, my wife, and I are watching it, but I got to get her through the Clone Wars too. So we're kind of a little slow on it. I kind of got her through. We just watched the box arc in the Clone Wars, and so she liked that one. So
Nice.
All right, got a few more we can throw in there. I will throw yes, Dexter Jester, a Star Wars story. That would be perfect, Robert.
Yes, people would love it.
Love it. Blue milk or green milk?
Ooh, so specifically the Galaxy's Edge stuff?
Yes.
Green milk.
Green milk.
I am team green milk. I don't know what exactly is different about it. It tastes a little bit more tropical, a little bit more like pina colada maybe, but I liked the green milk better.
I did too. We went to Galaxy's Edge for the first time in December of last year.
For Spectacular.
And I had blue milk and green milk for the first time, and I also chose green milk, and everyone else chose blue.
It's interesting. I know a lot of women who prefer the green milk and men that prefer the blue milk. I don't know what it is.
I like both. I'll take both. Whatever. Milk's milk as far as I'm concerned. But
why not?
I did like blue more that day, I think, though, if I do remember correctly. So
I'm just waiting for them to make a rum version of either of those, and then I will pick that one.
I will always pick the rum version. That's very true.
I created a sort of semi blue milk version of it with the Bacardi dragon fruit rum, and and like with an egg inside of it to give it more of a frothy feel and taste to it, and it actually came out pretty good. I wasn't mad at it.
Ooh, interesting.
I'll teach you more of that show. Danny was doing these like cocktails for Schmodown competitors, like taking a competitor making their cocktail, and I want to see more of those, Danny, because they were very good.
Yeah, might not be on the show, but I might be able to put them on Twitter.
I like tequila. If you want to make me something,
heck yeah. All right.
I just think we just got to do that on Chill Action. You guys are asking people their favorite alcohol, and then Danny can make a drink for them. That'd be perfect.
That we can put that in the this or that light or what is it? Clear liquor or dark liquor?
Clear liquor or dark liquor.
And break it down from there.
All right. How about Billy D. Williams or Donald Glover as Lando?
I mean, I love Donald Glover for so many reasons, but I gotta go Billy D. He's the OG swagger. He's the Cult 45. I mean, I will say there was it wasn't a gas station. It was like a convenience store next to one of our old apartment complexes that we used to live in. And they had a Billy D. Williams Colt 45 sign out front. And we must have asked him at least 4 or 5 times, like, how much you want for that?
Can't get it.
And he was like, so many people have asked me, and I'm just waiting for the right amount. And we were like, all right, that tells us it's too much.
Nice try.
Talk to Gucci. When he's in town, we'll make it happen somehow. I think that's what you got to do. Bobby Gucci will make it happen.
Pull it out of him.
So I think one of the two could probably figure out a way to make it work for you.
But I will say Donald Glover, he's actually from Stone Mountain, which is where Alex grew up, and it's very close to where we live now. So he's a fellow Georgia native, and we have been following him since he did like a comedy sketch series on YouTube before he wrote for
30 Rock.
30 Rock, and before SNL, and before Community and Childish Gambino. I did get to see him live once as Childish Gambino in Athens, which was so amazing. I just love him, and I really hope that the rumors about him having his own show are true.
Me too.
Having his own show, right? That's what I hear. I kind of hear that too. I was actually, guys, when I was going to venture off of this with that and say, what do we think? Is this going to happen? I kind of have a feeling something will happen around the Solo Enterprise, whether it's a Lando show or if it's something else, or maybe. But as long as Donald Glover comes back as Lando, I'm good to go.
Yeah,
I'd like to see Alden too. I think Alden was.
I loved Alden.
Perfectly fine. I mean, he had such a big shoes to step into. I mean, the pressure he had was unbelievable. I think he did perfectly fine. I had no problem with him. So.
Yeah. Jonas had even bigger shoes to step into, literally.
That is true, literally. What a great ambassador he is for Star Wars, though, isn't he?
Oh.
I mean, the dude is just so positive, so loving. He loves to be there. No matter what's going on, you know that he's having a great time, and just watch that with him. So
Alex got to do him and Jonas panel at DragonCon last year. He was moderating his panel, and we got to give him a Make Solo 2 shirt, or a Make Solo 2 Happen shirt, and like a little tiny one for his son, I think. Yeah, son.
That's awesome.
He's so nice.
Guy's kind of guy. He's so married to the role. You know, it doesn't matter what you put him in. Like oh, John Boyega's not going to come back. Someone say he might not come back. You ask Jonas will be in, he'll be in whatever show you want him to be in, I think, as far as Star Wars goes. So that's the kind of guy you want to be involved with, that kind of fan. So
sure.
All right, we'll do one last one. I will do one more Star Wars because I love it. Are you looking forward to more Mandalorian season 2 or the Obi-Wan series?
Oh. This is a tough one.
I love it whenever Paul gives people tough ones like that. It's my favorite thing to see people score.
I used to have Mandalorian. I used to have Obi-Wan versus Cassian Andor, but it seemed to be too easy. It was like, oh, we like Cassian. We want to see Obi-Wan. But Mandalorian season 2 now, that tends to be more of a fair battle.
Well, that's interesting because I think this came up on our channel recently, and someone asked the Obi-Wan show versus Cassian, and I said Cassian.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought about this, and I'm interested to hear this.
Yeah, because so the original question, I'll go Obi-Wan.
Okay.
Because I'm so excited for Ewan to return, and just I have to know what that story is going to be.
Yes.
But Obi-Wan show versus the Cassian show, I loved Rogue One so much, and I can't wait for K2SO to return. And I think that, I don't know, the comedy element is going to be really good in that show, but also if it's going to be following Cassian and you know, all the potential dark deeds he had to do to get where he is, and Rebel intelligence at the time of Rogue One, it just sounds super interesting to me. And I think the comedy aspect might bump it just a little higher for me.
I got it, because I love it. I stopped asking because it seemed a lot of people just went with Obi-Wan right away, and I wanted to make it a more difficult choice. I personally am looking forward to both because I loved K2SO. Alan Tudyk can be at anything, and I'll watch him in that, first of all.
Right. Yes.
I'm very excited about Cassian, definitively. But Obi-Wan, I definitely want to do more for the exact same reasons. You got to see Ewan returning to the role is just hands down awesome. What are your thoughts on couple different things? There's always the argument people have, like, can Obi-Wan leave Tatooine, or is that like breaking the code or something like that? What are your thoughts on that?
Again, it's something we talked about. I think he could leave Tatooine, but it would have to be for a very, very good reason.
Right.
Obviously, being maybe he, finds out Anakin survived and is Darth Vader, and he goes back to try one more time, because there's that line that Vader says, Obi-Wan once thought as you did. So right. They could take that line, make a series out of it.
They really could. And I think they should. I do think that. I mean, I know Christian has definitely been playing on that one for a while as well. But I want to see it too. And what are your thoughts on Hayden having an appearance?
Oh, I mean, I'm just gonna pretend it's true until it's not.
Me too. I'm like, make it happen. Make it happen.
It's amazing enough that we're getting Ewan McGregor back, but Hayden Christensen, people would go bananas over.
Yes, really much so. More connections, I think, the better. We can get more of the prequel connections in there, get them back, get them in a different setting, and just not that they in any way need redemption, but I feel like it'd be just good to, I think, it's kind of like when Hayden came back in Celebration, when y'all cheered him and all that. He had this big standing ovation. They felt that love from it. Like, give them another shot that way. I would love to see that myself.
Yeah.
Great Nerd Chronic, always loved seeing him here. He's one of our good friends. And yes, this is PLD guy. I know Star Wars pretty well. I'm not sure I'm quite at that level. Back in the day, I've always said that back in the day, before Disney bought Star Wars, I could definitely have hung in the Star Wars division myself. I'm not quite as well versed on the Disney side now. I haven't. Again, I'm old. I don't retain quite as well as I used to. Alex will get you guys. Alex and you will get there someday where you won't retain quite as well as you used to.
we're in our 30s now. We're both 33, so it's creeping up there.
Creeping up there. Well, you guys look wonderful. I wouldn't have pictured that. I would have said late 20s at most. So there you go.
He's got that baby face.
Perfect. Well, that will end this or that. You have survived. You're still on the show. That's a good thing. I never want to let you know. Sometimes I bump you off if you go too far away. But you survived.
You're part of Team Guy. So
part of Team Guy. That was a good thing. So Pineapple and Pizza almost lost it, but you had to make your way through. So, but
nice.
So now this is the time where we will turn things over to the chat. Of course, we have Streamlabs and we have Super Chat. Those will always take precedence, but get those in the chat. And while you guys are doing that, we will promote our rest of this week and into next week. And Molly can also promote and get her things out there as well. So Molly, why don't we start with you as a guest? Where can folks find you?
I am on Twitter at Mollie Damon, and you can find me and Alex talking all things Star Wars at Star Wars Explained on YouTube and Star Wars Explained on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And then I'm on Schmodown POV on YouTube, and we're doing a big team up. Speaking of, we're doing a big team up with Let's Get Ready to Talk Schmodown on Thursday to cover the IG finals. So very excited for that.
Let me ask you about that. Is that I was in there? I got to admit, I watched your guys' stream when Chuck came on, but I was also backstage producing the Action Guys, Ben and Drew stuff. So I might have missed it. Is this going to be more of like is this a feeling out thing to do more often? Is it a one-time thing? What's the story there?
I mean, this is the first time we're gonna do it. Never say never.
Okay.
So I'll leave it at that.
Okay. There you go. I will like to say that I'm claiming that we had the first crossover right here, right now. So,
While we're getting questions in from the chat, get them in. If you want to send them in through Streamlabs or Super Chat, send them in that way. Those will get priority. If not, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'm going to bring Kelsey on screen. Miss Lovely Kelsey, right up here. Hey, girl. I love those glasses.
Thank you.
I always love the headphones, too.
Thanks.
Huh?
I always love the headphones, too, the cat ear.
I love the ears.
They're fun.
I liked it. For a little while, Kelsey had to use her daughter's headphones. And,
yeah, hers are unicorn ones.
Mine are like gaming headphones, so they're giant. But I like to just pretend like they're my Leia buns.
That's how you gotta dress them up. You gotta find some way to like put something over it.
Yes.
I guess I got Leia buns too. I'll go with that. It's fine. It's a very fashionable thing to have, right?
Yay!
Well,
Okay, so chat, get those questions in. And while y'all are doing that, we're gonna plug what's going on our channel for the rest of the week. Paul, what do we have?
What do we have on Wednesday, Dan? We have Schmo Bates coming up?
Kelsey.
Kelsey.
Yes,
Why don't you actually, Kelsey, knows more of the details, I think, on that.
I am not on this one, but it is a Roka-themed Schmo Bates with Roka guest starring as the co-host. So the question
That'll be interesting.
Right? It's going to be really entertaining. I am excited to watch it. I'm not sure who the competitors are at this point, but just knowing what I know about it, I'm super excited for this match.
We do have John Roca as the guest judge, though, correct? That's what I've been told. And I don't think John appreciated it as much. I did say we're talking about best Roca moments. I thought the best Roca moment was when Andrew Guy tackled him, but I don't think he appreciated it as much as he did.
Yes.
He's good that way. And of course, Kelsey, we also have your show next Sunday.
We have Call to Action Live, where we will be not really recapping, more just a general discussion of news and things that came out during the week and predicting upcoming matches and also answering your chat questions. And then also just to plug a little thing on there, on Thursday, we're going to be doing our first ever Twitch stream on Twitch. And it's not going to be Showdown themed. It's just going to be us hanging out, talking about whatever pops in our noggins. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
It could be Showdown, considering that's all.
It could come up, but it's not the point.
It is going to be more of a social hangout, I guess, though. So it should be fun. So, and then of course next week's show to action, we get to make a good announcement. If we're talking Star Wars this week, we're probably going to be talking Star Wars next week as well. Put on Chelsea's ad. Very excited about that. We're wanting to get Ken on the show for quite a long time, and we finally got to make it everything work. He wanted to do it after the Star Wars tournament was done. He's done with the Star Wars tournament, obviously, and we're finally going to get him on show. And of course, we get to talk more Star Wars, and I'm always excited to talk Star Wars. So.
Yeah, cheers from me. I'm gonna try to deep dive into every fanny of Star Wars that I can for the next week, just so I can come off a little.
Well, yeah, but you can also definitely talk Game of Thrones with him as well, though.
Oh, that's right. That actually might be what we hijacked the conversation.
Which is okay.
Any opportunity I get to talk about Game of Thrones,
and maybe some wrestling, maybe some baseball. There's a lot of stuff we can talk about.
I was gonna say he does sports too, so
baseball is a big thing with him. I love his baseball card stuff, and again, he's an old school wrestling guy, so I can talk wrestling as well. So there's a lot of different avenues we can go through. So this should be a fun episode. I hope you guys will tune in for that. Back to our regularly scheduled time of 8:15 Pacific, which ends up usually being 8:30 Pacific because that's just how we roll. But with that being said, Kelsey, want to get to the questions?
Yes, we did have a Streamlabs come in. We already kind of talked about it, but I want to make sure I read the question from Ben Rayner. It says, "Hey all, just curious, which do you prefer if it's different, the prequels or 7 through 9? I think I prefer 1 through 3 for me personally. Love you guys. Happy Monday."
Okay, we did talk about it a little bit. I will say Episode 3 is my second favorite Star Wars film. I love Episode 3. I'm a big Episode 3 stan myself. So.
Love it. Yeah. Like I said, I love Episode 7 and 8. I mean, 9 was okay, just didn't quite hit my expectations as much as I was hoping for. But yeah. If I had to pick a trilogy, I would go with the OG trilogy, 4, 5, 6.
Can never go wrong with that as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I'm OG as well. However, The Last Jedi is one of my it's my second favorite Star Wars movie, so that one alone just it almost brings the sequel trilogy up to that level to me too.
Exactly.
I will say, I throw it out there. I love The Last Jedi. I'm not as big a fan of it as a saga film in a way. I would love to see Rian Johnson get his own trilogy and really deep dive from his perspective. I didn't like it I love the film. It's a beautiful film. I had some problems with some of the Star Warsiness of some of it, but that's neither here nor there. So
for me, I'd probably pick the original trilogy also, just because that's the most familiar trilogy that I'm most familiar with. So
before the next question, I just want to throw out Malcolm. That's probably correct. I'm going to try to steer the conversation Star Wars. Daniel will try to steer it to GOT, and eventually we'll just start crossing over Star Wars actors in GOT. That might happen. So or
we're going to end up talking about baseball for the entire show. Those are the only directions that it seems to go with.
All right, Kels, what's next?
All right. Next question. What is Molly's favorite 90s movie or TV show?
I like
that. Oh, man. Favorite 90s movie or TV show? Oh, Buffy. For sure. I was like, wait, yeah, no, that started in the 90s. Definitely Buffy. Buffy is my number one favorite show of all time.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
All
I love
right.
TV.
Question. Talk about marriage. Is it easy? Were you and Alex a natural fit?
Is it easy? I mean, it is and it isn't. You know.
That's a good point. That's a good way to say it, I think.
That is super good to say.
I will say, I will say when we first met, and like our first couple of years together, it was blissfully nerdy, in such a great way. Like, we were just playing off of each other's nerdiness so much, and we still do, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's something that you have to work at, but you shouldn't have to work at it too much. So I don't know. It's kind of a non-answer whether or not it's easy, but it's a roller coaster, but it's a fun one.
There you go. It's a betrayal to Battlestar Galactica from Brian.
Brian, when did Battlestar?
That was 2000, actually, wasn't it?
Oh, he's saying my number one show. Yes.
Oh,
well,
actually, yeah, makes sense. Sorry.
Yeah, Battlestar is it's tied for second with Parks and Recreation.
Nice.
Yes.
That Battlestar Galactica
You're a fan also.
it's like forgotten almost. I feel like people don't talk about it nearly as much as they used to. That's a good show. I want to go back and rewatch that.
I used to always say that Jim Halpert was my my dream dude, but really it's Ben Wyatt.
Ben Wyatt's my dream man as well.
Ben reminds me so much of Alex and just like his quirkiness, and everyone is like, "Oh my god, yes, Alex is Ben."
All right, next question. Who is your least favorite Star Wars character?
Good one.
Least favorite. I don't like picking these, but I will. I'll say Zero the Hutt.
You're not wrong. That's probably...
It's just not where I would go with a Hutt gangster. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's definitely his voice, and that's about it.
That's from the Clone Wars, right?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. It's a Clone Wars movie, and he had some episodes as well in the series.
Yeah. I remember.
Not exactly loving. I agree with that. So good call.
All right, next question. Who would you like to see enter the Star Wars division, both already in Showdown and outside of it? Now that there are online matches, we can get people outside of South California.
I mean, so I brought up Dragon Con and the trivia that we do there every year. Someone who is not involved in the Schmodown, but I would love to see play some of the other competitors is our friend Miles. And he is, I believe, 12, maybe 13, but he destroys at Star Wars trivia. Like,
wow.
I feel like he would dominate. And I can't remember if we brought this up with Christian or not. And they're like, how do you feel about having a 12-year-old on for like a little fun exhibition thing? Because he's so cool. He knows so much. His parents are awesome. They cosplay every year. And, you know, he almost beat Alex at Star Wars Trivia this past year.
Wow.
Wow.
He was in the last 3, I believe.
Wow. Damn.
So I love him.
Well, Christian, if you're listening, make it happen, man. I think that'd be a fun thing to have happen. I mean, you're looking for something that's like newsworthy as well as that. Something like that come in and destroy. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Cool.
I saw a video that that y'all had posted on the Star Wars Explained channel, and it was of Alex and going to Dragon Con and competing with people in Dragon Con. So it showed like that group of people that he does trivia with, and so I saw the little dude that you're talking about, and that's really cool.
He does a great Churret cosplay too.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I love
that. Like the whole family of cosplayers, and they know trivia, and he's so confident about it. And I'm just waiting for the day that he beats Alex at trivia at Dragon Con. And honestly, we're all rooting for him. So,
except for Alex, I would think. I think Alex probably still isn't rooting for him.
don't know. I think if he had to lose to anyone, it would be Miles.
Okay, makes sense.
All right, next question. What was it like winning your first Star Wars match, even though it came with controversy?
Ooh, controversy.
Yeah. It was still fantastic. I mean, it was a great match. I'll say it again. Adam Witt is amazing, and he was so much fun to play against. And yeah, it was #Challenge City, but what are you gonna do? That's what the Star Wars tournament is now, apparently.
Yeah.
I think when you're got so many specific questions and everybody gets almost all of them right, and it comes down to like word choice is the only thing that's going to be the difference between a win and a loss. You're going to have more challenges. That's the only way you got to do it.
Yeah. I could talk for an entire episode about like the difficulty of questions and the kind of gray areas that come with certain questions, and how much the writers or the managers may or may not know. So like with challenges coming into play, the managers may or may not know when to throw down a challenge.
Right.
It's all over the place, but I don't really think mine was controversial. It was interesting and hopefully fun to watch.
Definitely fun to watch. I'll definitely do that.
But yeah, I loved it. I had a blast.
Sweet.
All right, next question. I don't know what this means, but what do you think of Ryback YouTube?
I don't know what that is either.
I don't know what that is either. So if you want to make Salvador, if you want to come up with something, let us know what it is. I don't know.
Explain.
Question. I'll look it up after.
Next question. How does studying for Star Wars trivia change your appreciation of the movies?
Oh man, it's funny because honestly, it helps me appreciate the prequels more and more, even though like studying the trivia behind the prequels can get insanely overwhelming. There's so much lore in the prequel movies, but it every time I rewatch the prequels, my appreciation for those movies goes up. There is a bit of an aspect of kind of getting burnt out. I mean, we talk about Star Wars all day, every day on the channel, and then we're studying for the Schmodown, and it's like, okay, well, and that's why when Alex was gonna get into IG, we were like, oh, we get to watch other movies. But yeah, I mean, we get burnt out. We don't really get tired of them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I get that. I get that. Do you have a new favorite film that you watched for the IG since you started watching the IGs? Do you have a new favorite out of them? A
new favorite? I don't know that I have a new favorite. I will always love the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. Actually, all the Batman movies. I love Michael Keaton as Batman. I think he might always be my number one Batman.
Nice.
But The Dark Knight is just like perfection, chef's kiss, just like amazing.
Sweet.
All right, perfect. Question from Nerd Chronic. Did you discover Battlestar Galactica together or individually?
Together. I think we both knew about the show. Neither of us watched it while it was airing like live on Sci-Fi. I think my sister actually introduced us to it, and then I'm glad that I didn't have to watch it when it was airing live, because there were like certain points between episodes and seasons where there was like a year of wait time in between seasons. So yeah, it's much better to be able to binge it. But Alex started watching it first, and I was just kind of like, oh yeah, I've heard about it. It sounds pretty a little more sci-fi than I prefer. But then I think somewhere in season 2, at the time we were living together, I would just kind of like sit in the background and watch it, and I was like, wait, what's happening? Wait, who's that? Wait. And then yeah, eventually we started it over, watched it together, and never looked back.
All right, perfect. Another question. What players on The Usual Suspects have you spent the most time with?
That's a good one. I mean, I'll say Sam and Rachel helped me study the most for Star Wars. Honestly, I haven't spent a ton of time with any of them. If any of them want to need any Star Wars help studying, I'm free to help them out.
There you go.
Definitely Sam and Rachel's not part of The Usual Suspects, but she kind of is through association.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. We all know that she's there, obviously,
but Sam has been a great, fantastic manager, and he's really helped me understand gameplay more than anything.
That's good. I've always felt like that's an underrated part, just mostly because I don't ever really hear too many people talking about gameplay and strategy and knowing when and where to use challenges and how to utilize the rules of the game for your advantage. So Sam seems like the best player for that.
Really?
I forced it on them.
Fair enough. The worst things that happen. So, all right. Like 2 or 3 left, I think, Kels, right?
Okay. Let's see. Would Mollie be in the running of Babyface of the Year?
Yeah.
Would I be? I don't know. I wouldn't consider myself Babyface of the Year by a long shot. But if you want to put me up in the running, sure.
There you go.
What is Georgia like living there? More Athens concert stories, please.
I haven't actually been to that many concerts, even in Athens. Living in Georgia is hot and sweaty all the time.
Yeah.
we get like a week of fall, and then like winter is iffy. It's either pretty much the same as spring or summer, or it's snowing and there's ice everywhere and everyone freaks out and crashes their cars. It's insane.
Driving in Atlanta is intense and insane. Oh my gosh.
Yes. I would say only second to LA, probably. Atlanta traffic is pretty terrible.
Oh yeah. I've driven in Houston before also, and I would much rather drive in Houston all day long than go down the highway in Atlanta.
Yeah.
All right. Last question we'll get to this evening. Favorite Star Wars novel to recommend for someone who hasn't read any?
I think we were talking about this earlier. Lost Stars.
Yeah.
Definitely Lost Stars. That's, I think, mine and Alex's favorite new canon novel. I know he loves the Squadron books, but there's something about Lost Stars that just really reels you in. And, you'd be surprised. A lot of the more, I guess you call them young adult novels, but so far, all of the Star Wars young adult novels have been so good and like some of the best, in my opinion. So,
I would agree with that as well.
Yeah, I would get into Lost Stars.
Yeah.
Really quickly, do you have a favorite EU book?
I don't. I need to go back and read some. I know Alex loves the X-Wing books to death.
They were fun. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I might start reading those at some point when I get a chance, which it might be never.
That's true. I'll throw it in there as well. That's a great series because it's like enough outside of you don't have to know a lot of the lore behind it. It's just like Wedge and the new X-Wing pilots, and they have great adventures together. Occasionally you get like a Han Solo appearance, like occasionally you get like something like that, but it's all kind of self-contained and a lot of fun. So I would definitely appreciate those.
That and the Thrawn trilogy.
Always good.
Yes. I love Thrawn so much.
That's where you find Talon Card first. So yeah, I'll do that as well. So. All right, Kels.
That was the last question we were asked.
That is it, y'all. Thank you so much to everyone in the chat hanging out with us tonight. We had a good time. Happy Monday for everyone. Thank you, Mollie, so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it as always.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun. I loved the this or that category. I love being put on the spot for that stuff.
Yes,
Awesome.
it is a favorite of the show. So we. So I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I love it when Paul gives people really tough ones.
Yeah, my job.
So before we head out, Paul, let us know where you're at.
Oh yeah, at Paul_Denuzio on Twitter. You can find me every week at Chilled Action with my favorite co-host, Danny Joy. You can also find me on Ben and Drew's YouTube channel, Action Industries, Ben Bateman and Drew Guy. I run their Patreon, and I also do a show called Class Action every week, every Saturday, where we put up two, kind of like this or that, two options up against each other, movie-wise, franchise-wise, actor-wise, director-wise, and break them down to 5 categories and see what comes out victorious. And also, finally, if you want to subscribe to PLD Projects, my own YouTube channel, still starting. It's a slow start, but I've done some talk about V, the 1980s sci-fi show, which I love. And I will be getting into the Harris Dance, where I will go through every movie that Ed Harris has ever been in, and I'll make you love Ed Harris as I love him, or else I will die trying.
Love it.
That is right. What about you, Kelsey?
All right, you can find me at KelseyKins90 on Twitter and Instagram. Also on the Call to Action Podcast Instagram, so you can interact with me there. TeePublic, we've got merch. We have masks, so get your Call to Action mask and wear a mask. And I do have a Twitch channel. It's Kelsey Kins Gamer. I will probably later this evening be streaming Firewatch, so please come check it out. Follow if you can. I'm trying to get affiliate status, so be helpful if you could.
Sweet.
Awesome.
And y'all know me. It's your girl, Danny Joy here. You can find me on Twitter at DannyJoyD. You can also find me here every Monday hosting Chilled Action with my favorite co-host, Mr. Paul Denuzio. You can also go to my channel, too, if you want to find me on YouTube. I'm there. At some point, Paul and I are going to chit-chat about Lost Stars. So if you want to look out for Pokemon Chronicles coming on my channel very soon. Yay!
Awesome. Yay.
And Molly, before we head out, do you want to just plug where you're at or anything else?
I said it before. Molly at Molly Damon on Twitter. Me and Alex are at Star Wars Explained on YouTube. We do videos every day talking about Star Wars. If you're sick of Star Wars, maybe stay away from it. But if you're not, check it out.
The link to their Patreon is also inside of this in the description, so you can go and check out some more Star Wars stuff there.
Yes, thank you. Yes,
of course. So for everyone on the Call to Action crew, thank you all so much again for hanging out with us here on this Monday. Big shout out to Ben and Drew and Team Action and the Action Army and everyone else inside of the community. We love you. And as always, we salute you. Bow, 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 bow.